goals, contested possession, clearance, and inside 50. Where was the game one there for you?
It's a good start. Well, it wasn't all our way, was it? But we knew that would be the case. They're a very, very good side. So we knew the challenge coming in, it was going to be a big one, and it wouldn't be perfect. We're aiming for perfect, but we weren't. But to get a win, where did we win it? Well, I just think we adapted. As we were challenged with injury, we were challenged by our oppo, we just kept adapting, and in the end found a way to not crawl over the line, but just hang in there when we were, down a few soldiers. But big win for our footy club.
Did you say it's a bit of like a statement win to come here with such a dangerous opposition, get threatened late or win the game when it counted? That sort of day for the club.
Yeah, I think it is a big statement because of the respect we have for the Western Bulldogs and the way they play football at Marvel and what they're able to do if they're able to get the game on their terms. And so we knew the challenge coming in, and to execute it the way we did, the intercept game, our ability to use the ball when it was our opportunity, our ability to shut down some of their game as well. We know how potent they can be if the ball moves too quickly. Some of their forwards are impossible to stop. It was a real team performance today, so right across the board, from our captain through to Chase Jones coming on as a sub early when we're forced into that. So, sort of total performance for us.
I just spoke to your former captain. There was only one of two blokes out there who were in your last finals appearance, and he was just really big on process. Can you talk to what is building at your football club after a very lean times, very difficult times for your football club, and what clearly is now starting to stew nicely? Even in those tough times, it was building. So, I'm sort of hesitant to talk about how they were really tough times. Internally, we were making progress. We were developing. We were challenged with a really young group that, it's hard to win. So the outcome wasn't necessarily there, but there were a lot of wins off field that we were getting, and players that were committing to our footy club, players that then wanted to come and join our footy club, like for example Jordan Dawson, and Isaac Rankin and Pete Ling, and coming. I could go on. There are players that wanted to join it because they could see what was building. Now the results are starting to come off the back of that, and you mentioned process. That's what I've been mostly impressed with, is our group's ability to remain locked in on the moment. It's through a lesson. It's through a big lesson we had last season, as a club, not just players, staff. And this year we've just nailed in on what's the next challenge. And today it was the Bulldogs, which there's not many bigger. So we sit there in the rooms and we'll celebrate for a short time, and then on to the next challenge. Which is another big one. Hosting Gold Coast, who have made a lot of their wanting some big scouts at the beginning of the season as well. They're making a lot of noise about that, Matthew.
Yep, it was an interesting evening sitting there last night watching them in the first half, trying to work through how do you stop that. Very, very good side, a really good side that's obviously made a massive statement last night, and we now look forward to that challenge. Our guys won't necessarily go there, and they'll spend the next 24 hours getting themselves back on track, and then we'll lock in on the Gold Coast as of Monday.
One thing that hasn't just been building but was in complete full flight today was the three tools, Phil Thorpe, Foggy and Tex. How do you see their output? That looked to have a pretty big say on the game, 11 goals between the three of them. That's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, similar to our oppo, I think if we're able to get the game on our terms and move the footy, they were going to be hard to stop, our three talls. And we got our chances with that. I felt we gave them the best opportunity. We talk about giving them a chance. We did that today. I mean, not taking anything away from the way they've got to do their job as well and work hard, and they did take some really strong contested marks. So it was a combination, but again, it all comes back to team. If we're there and we're all playing our role and we work as a team, well, Riley Thilthorpe's going to be pretty hard to stop. And Taylor Walker, everybody knows he's so intelligent, he has so much experience. If the ball moves the right way, he'll find the goals. Darcy Fogarty's really found some form over the last few weeks. especially in that contested marking space. I think he's really started going at the footy and has some confidence in his hands again, which is a good sign for us.
Another magnet that's been, I would imagine, a pretty good one to have on your whiteboard at the moment is Dan Curtin. Had another seriously impressive game today. How have you seen his last month in particular? Because he looks like he's really shone since round 12.
Yeah.
Round 13.
Yeah, when you mention his name, I can't help smiling. It's one of those ones you just, in awe at what he's doing for such a young, inexperienced player. His game has just grown substantially over the last month or two. Just the confidence levels that he's playing with at the moment. And we're playing this guy in roles that are really important for us. When we change a mode and the opposition are coming at us, let's go to Dan Curtin because he'll get it done for us. I know he's Rising Star nominated already, but I think he's stepping up to another level, maybe even above that. It's been super impressive.
How much do you put that down to? He's playing in the SANFL a fair bit last year, didn't play a whole lot of football in the senior side, but do you put a lot of his confidence down to that, do you think, coming to the club?
We don't always get it exactly right when we're working with players because you just don't know. Every player's different on how they're going to develop. But everything we do is about fast-tracking that development. So with Dan, we felt there was a need to spend some time at an SANFL level, which is where our guys play if they're not in the AFL. There have been times in the past with other players that we've done the same and it hasn't necessarily worked out quite to where this has. But there's no doubt, we and Dan got this one right. The timing of when he should be in our AFL side, the balance of getting some things wrong at AFL level and keeping him in the side just for him to be able to grow and learn. And I think from a footy club point of view we've nailed that, but it then comes back to the player. He's a professional. He's so coachable, and so he's learnt so much through making mistakes, but also getting things right. And now he's in a really rare spot, which we're going to make the most of.
Jordan
How
Butts.
is Jordan Butts and what happened? Because no one can really sort of work out.
Yeah.
It's obviously serious. He's gone to hospital. What actually happened to him?
Yeah, well, our guys, our doctors are professional experience. Mark Cesano's an incredible operator, so he assessed him straight away. Suspected collapsed lung, so he was shipped straight off to hospital, obviously to see the specialist that we needed to get involved. It is a collapsed lung, so he won't travel with us now. He'll spend the night here and with the right people around him to make sure that he gets what he needs from this point on. But we won't know any more information until a specialist comes in and checks him up further.
Was it just a fend off with Darcy?
Well, I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the incident was. We didn't see it from upstairs. We got a message from downstairs saying, hey, Jordan's in a bit of bother here. And then, as I said, we just have 100% trust in our medical, our doctors and the way they operate, and they went to work.
And then you had Braden Cook.
That's a concussion, yeah.
Just a pretty straight on head clash.
Yeah, two players.
Yeah.
Two players putting their head over the footy, unfortunately for both of them, but for Braden especially, who's just come into our side and was probably showing some stuff. First thing he came up to me after the game and just said, "Can you believe it? Like, he just wants to play footy." But we'll do what's best there and make sure that he gets his recovery right.
How much of a blow is Butts given his role in the side, and he was playing on a pretty handy player today?
Yeah, it'll be a big blow for us, but respectfully, we have other guys that are knocking on the door, and have been for a period of time. Nick Murray's playing in the SANFL at the moment. Probably wants a little more footy just to get his touch back, but he's feeling fantastic. He's coming back from injury, and James Borlace is the other one who's been rock solid for us at SANFL, and he's unlucky not to be playing. So someone's, I guess, misfortune is another person's opportunity.
You made mention of last night, in particular, Gold Coast 2, big balls in the midfield, Anderson and Rao. How much you had Bond put on a masterclass today? How much does that fuel the confidence of your midfield that they can match it with anything that comes up against them? Because there was a fair bit thrown at you today around the ball.
Yeah, it's a good time for us. This is the second time we'll play Gold Coast this season, and last time we had a really good hit out. We were challenged by them, didn't quite get across the line. They're one of the best midfielders, if not in the competition. Today was maybe on par with that, and Bon is one of the best players you'll see. So we knew that was going to be a challenge. In the end, yeah, you try to limit his impact. We had a number of different things we looked at. He's always going to impact the game. It's how big that impact's going to be. And today it was not quite enough to get him over the line. So as a team, we've been able to get the job done.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks.